Alrighty, while we wait for the lobby to load. Hello everyone, welcome to the AM3 Championship here on Contest of Speed. To those who have been tuning in this season, you're familiar with a Johnny Damon. However, the OGs of AM3 know this voice very well. Special guest tonight is Deathstorm alongside Mr. Red Arrow. How are we tonight, sir?
It's Red Devil, but yeah, I'm doing good. Dad, how are you doing tonight?
Red Devil. I should know this by now because you're one of my AM admins. Yes, I'm doing okay. Getting the nerves out a little bit. It's been a while since I've been in the commentary booth, but tonight we are at what, according to qualifying, is sunny Silverstone. Track opened in 1948 with a current length of 5.819 kilometers or 3.6 miles. Has 18 turns with a lap record of 1 minute 27.097, held by Mr. Max Verstappen in 2020's Red Silverstone. Most notably is host for the F1 Great Britain Grand Prix, also GP for motorcycles and the British GPA or GTA, I believe, like the GT3 cars as well. And for Aston Martin, so Zenke and Chipman, technically it's their home track, with the Aston Martin headquarters just outside the parameters here. A little bit of housekeeping to go through before we begin tonight. There were kind of a plethora of penalties from CODA. I'll just highlight a few of the major ones. There were 2 5-second plus 1 penalty point for Paul in Hell. He was caught in AI, and then he had an incident on track. I believe it was on the final lap, if I'm not mistaken. Also, Whitjay had a 5 seconds plus 1 penalty point for an illegal pit entry, as well as, and I'm going to quote the incident report itself, 3 penalty points for M1K for Botas bowling. M1K is not here tonight. He did have a qualifying ban for this round, which unfortunately will carry over into the
Believe it's
next
China.
round, which I believe is in Mexico.
Mexico. Oh yeah, Mexico. Sorry, Mexico.
Which impacts the points. Nick AC is on top with 170. Red Arrow's in second with 126. Pablo's in third with 123. Paul is knocked into fourth with 96. Or 95 rather, I apologize. SR Frame with 81's in fifth. Speedy Bullets in sixth with 52, tied with M1K and with J. So 6th, 7th, and 8th is 52. Zanke is with 44 in ninth, and the top 10 round out is Gru with 41. The penalties impacted the final results from last week. When we left you, Paul in Hell was the provisional winner with Pablo P2 and Katie Dog P3. Pablo ended up getting the win with Katie Dog P2, and Zanke ended up rounding out the podium places. With that being said, that mops up my duties as far as sorting is concerned. What are you looking forward to tonight, Mr. Red Devil?
Oh, iconic track. Silverstone. It will be interesting to see how these guys do in qualifying. Uh, race. I'm seeing in the chat that there is a chance of a rain coming at the end of the race, so that might make things interesting, especially with the setup, what these drivers choose to do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some wheel-to-wheel action. Silverstone is generally a track where you get a lot of wheel-to-wheel, especially because of those fast corners. Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel are notably some of my favorite corners on any track or all tracks considered. So I'm looking forward to some juicy action tonight.
Yeah, so am I. Megget's, Beckett's, a couple iconic corners, as well as Stowe and Cops. Let's get right on the board with the Alpine of Bando, as he is about to start down the Hamilton Straight, heading toward turn 1, which is Abbey, and then in the farm, it's a quick right-left chicane, and then you're going to go into the hairpin of Village of turn 3, keeping it nice and, not nice and tight, geez. Turn 4 with the loop, and then entries at turn 5 coming up with the first DRS zone, which is the Wellington Straight. Want to go down here, you're hitting up to approximately 200 miles an hour, 202, 203 at the breaking point of Brooklands, and then left field, the sweeping right-hander coming up here, and then the next corner, which was with the former layout of Silverstone Woodcote, which would have been the former last turn, heading down toward Cops, which was old turn one, where Verstappen and Hamilton had a together. That was very iconic. Meggetts Beckett's now into running wide at the end of Meggetts Beckett's, and then Chapel heading toward the second DRS straight, which is the Hangar straight. Seventh gear. He's going to definitely head up to 200 plus here, 205, 207, 208 at the breaking point of Stowe. And then he only has a couple more corners to negotiate through, which is Vale and Club, turns 16, 17, and 18. And that is a lap around here of Silverstone. When we get there to the finish line, what his time will be 27.5 puts him P4.
Let's see what some of
And
the
it's
other
bad.
drivers are doing right here. I think the McLaren of SR Frame is probably next to cross the line. Sets a purple middle sector. Seems like he's on a fight for contention for pole here tonight as he goes through, I believe this is Stove, right? Club, not,
Club Vale, the McLaren. Yeah,
yeah.
that's Club coming up now. And then Vale is the last corner right onto the Hamilton straight. See what SR Frame does. Puts it in the P4 with a 27-1. Right now, Pablo Plays has the provisional pole, 2/10 clear of Red Arrow with a 26.5. How quick, how low, I should say, do you think AM3 is going to go tonight?
I think you can get into 26-0, maybe a 25-9-8 for some of these guys. Guys like Pablo, Nick, Zenki are known to, they have some really good qualifying pace. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. Speedy Bullet and also another contender. He's been absent for a few races, so he'll be looking to bounce back with a decent qualifying and the race. Let's see who's the furthest along to do a lap.
I think it might be Nick.
Nick?
Oh, wait, no, it's not Nick. I'm sorry.
I'm guessing one of the
Angels.
Ferraris of Widjay. I think the Alpine in front of him is going to the pits. So, yeah, it is going to be Widjay, followed by his teammate, Easy 10, and then Nick, I believe. So, we'll go on board with Widjay here.
Yep, down the Hamilton straight for the first time in this qualifying session. Turns in eighth gear. You pretty much want that flat out. If you're letting up on that corner, you're easily leaving 2 to 3 tenths in the open there. Want to run wide through the loop and loses the back end a little bit going into Entree and then DRS straight. We'll see what his first sector time will be in the Ferrari tonight. Again, this is definitely a banker lap for him, a 27.8. I don't know what that is in reference to the front end of the field
Yeah,
because I didn't catch any of the first sector times just yet. I just
yeah,
only caught their laps.
yeah. I haven't been paying attention to that, but I think he's about a tenth or two down, if I want to predict, from the top guys.
Okay. Going through cops right now is with Jay. Very easy to invalidate there. If you run wide, you could lose up to. Oh, and speaking
Uh,
of invalidations, through Beckett's there. Um, go down. I believe it's
well,
Nick.
yeah, going on board with Nick right now. He's going through the old hangar straight, 1030. So I think it's close to what SR Frame did. So he's coming up through Stove now, going up into Club. Couple of yellow flags there, but I think he should be fine. Navigating
Yeah,
through the last final corner, coming on to the Hamilton straight, about to cross the line with a 126.5. Puts him P2, just 2,000s down from Pablo. So 200, sorry. So not a bad time from Nick there.
no, he's been up toward the front all season long. Um, I mean, he has a gap in the championship for a reason. I believe it was what 6 races in a row he won.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 or something. But we had that one race where we had to void the results. But yeah, I believe it would have been 6. And I believe he has around 8 podiums out of the 9 races he's done. So that is truly an incredible consistency, I want to say, from the Williams driver. Uh, yeah, he's probably been my driver of the season in the AM side, if I want to say just because of the consistency he's shown.
That's BK-esque from last season.
Y-
Him and Sean Boy absolutely obliterated AM3 last season. And as far as the field is concerned, this is the first time anybody is hearing me say this. You're welcome for bringing Nick on because he was definitely my golden find.
As
Just throwing it out there.
Zenki puts in a 26.8 as well to take him up to P4. Yeah, like just to get back on Nick, he's been absolutely sensational in this tier. I wouldn't be surprised if he moves up a tier next season.
Tier? Tier? he
Well,
might he might be front end AM2, honestly. Back end AM1 if he continues at this pace. I could see a couple of people jumping up tiers for the next game. Red Arrow, Pablo, Nick. Maybe you could throw Mr. Paul in that mix as well. I mean, he's been consistent as of late, consistently toward the front as well.
yeah, definitely. As Waffle Raptor sets a 126.8 to put in P5 as well. So times are starting to drop here. Let's see who's next across the line. I believe it's a Haas of Red Arrow. He.
Yeah, he just started his.
Oh, okay. We'll go on board with the Haas driver. Uh, yeah, it's been a up and down season for Red Arrow, I think. He had a couple of wins early in the season, and then slowly lost that lead to Nick as he invalidates. Uh, didn't want to jinx him there, but yeah, he's slowly started to lose that lead. But I'm sure he can bounce back in the next few races and shrink the point gap between them.
I mean, he's been very consistent as well. He was consistent last year too. He was honestly, when we were doing podium predictions, me and my old cohort, Mr. E. Warren, Red Arrow was my golden goose, so to speak, because I'd just predict him on the podium and he would just come through week after week after week.
Yeah, I think he has had a little bit of an unlucky couple of races. I want to say, he was fighting up by the front, uh, either it being incidents or weather related, circumstances that hindered his progress. I want to say, but yeah, he's definitely one to watch out for this race. As we see Chris Zip about to set his first lap, he has no time on the board yet, so. This is going to be a crucial lap for him to see where it puts him in relation to the field. Chris Sip is a reserve driver, I believe, coming in for Katie Dog, going in.
Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say he's going through Maggots and Beckons right now. We already saw a couple of invalidations through this section, so he does not invalidate, keeps the car within the track limits. 104.2 is his first sector split, which is probably looking at the bottom end of the field a little bit for him as he goes through Stowe and does invalidate. So he chooses to come back into the pits. Fortunate for him. Let's see who's next to cross the line. I think it's one of the Alpines. No.
It might be an Alpine actually. Bandude's actually on an outlap. He would be the next one to cross the line. There's a Williams, I believe, behind him.
Uh,
That is Speedy Bullet, but he is 7 seconds slower, so he's going into the pits. Right now, this might be the little bit of transition. Red Arrow is actually pretty charged up. He's going to be going for an attack lap or a hot lap very, very shortly. He's going down the hangar straight currently.
he's at
Um,
7 seconds
ASAP
now.
Loggy quietly puts it into P3, by the way. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's probably one of his best qualifying. It would be his best qualifying, I think, if he puts it into the top three. Uh, but yeah, let's see here. Probably next to cross the line would be Rainbow. Yes, I think it's going to be Rainbow Demon. It's going through the second sector here, through Maggots and Beckett's. Terrible camera angle, but He's a second down on his time, so no, I don't think it's going to be a fast lap from him. Probably going to the pits. I think Electric Entree is probably on the hot lap. Next for the McLaren, he's down in 17th, heading up the I want to call this, what straight is this? Hangers, Wellington Straight? Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
Wellington straight. He actually is on a hot lap. I didn't catch the split as he's going through left field and into Woodcote now. Um, we'll see what his sector 2 time will be as long as he passes through Cops, Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel cleanly. Keeps it nice and tight through Stowe, or through Cops rather, I apologize. Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel are next. Want to clip the apex on there, keep as much speed as you can, throwing it in, keeping it in the six, and second DRS straight. Electric Entree is just about 3/4 of a second under his best time, so he's going to be looking to jump into the 27s, which will provisionally bump him up to P14 currently, as long as he keeps it on this trajectory. Heading toward Vale and Club now of 16, 17, and 18 to round out the lap. Electric Entree 27.5 puts it in the P12. There's a big conglomerate of guys 11 through 14 into the 27.5s. Also, the front end of the field is pretty loaded too. 600 separating the top three, with Red Arrow 2/10 behind that. So it's looking like a front 2 rows of the grid pretty heavy so far.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to who can nail their lap, final quality lap to get that pole position. Here, as we see Chipman on his, I think he's gonna be one of the first guys to set his final run. So he's going up, approaching Cops. I didn't catch what his first sector time was. Hopefully he does not invalidate through, as Pablo goes P1 completely unnoticed with a 125.9 for provisional pole.
125.9. Just casually drop it at 6/10. Just casually.
Yeah, Nick, ASAP, Speedy, Zenki have a lot of work to do if they want to catch Pablo. As
Um,
at,
Chipman's going through Stone now. He was, I believe, a 10th and a half to 2/10 up going through Sector 2. Let's see what his final lap is going to bring through Club Eric Vale, and Club now loses the back end a little bit and then hits too much of the curb, half a second faster still with a 27.5, putting him in P11. The iconic Deathstorm position, as a lot of everyone would say.
a lot of drivers still waiting to do their runs. Let's see here. Rainbow Demon is not on a run at the moment. Zenki is just about to start his lap, so believe is it Angel on his run? No, it's an Bandute.
Nick AC,
Oh,
Nick AC,
Bandute!
Van Dude. Oh,
6/10 up on his time, going through the second sector, coming up into Stowe, Club, and Vale now.
is over. For Van Dude, well, this time is going to be. Let's keeping an eye on AC 30. Van Dude goes by with a 26. Completely unnoticed in the very let's see.
Uh,
There's a Haas off. It's a triple. Nick Ace going to the sector 2 line now. He's at, he is a quarter second his time. He's got another basically a half a second.
Deathstorm, I believe your mic is cracking a little bit. Not sure. You wanna?
I was I was moving around.
Yep. As we see Nick AC about to cross the line now. Let's see if he can match Pablo or even beat it. He is a 26.2. That takes him up to P2. Red Arrow has invalidated as Speedy Bullet puts it in P3 behind his teammate with a 126.5.
Jeez, what
Zenki
was next?
Zenki goes into the pits as well. ASAP Log or Witjay, sorry, is not able to improve. So is Gru. So I believe this is the end of qualifying, fellas. We have
Yeah, Pablo, not surprisingly, contending for pole. Nick AC, not surprised either. Speedy Bullet's a little bit of a surprise. He missed the last, I think it was 2 to 3 weeks. So seeing him back in the car, let alone toward the front end, is a refreshing sight for both of us in the Williams garage.
Yeah, unfortunate for Zenki. He just said I think lost it a little bit or bottled it in one of the sectors. So unfortunate for him. But yeah, we have Pablo in prime position to take points away from Nick with this qualifying for sure.
Oh, geez, this will be very interesting. Pablo looking to back up his quote unquote win from last week, puts it on pole to start, so that's very good from him. Like I said, the Williams boys in second and third. Great showing from them so far. We still have 26 laps here at sunny slash possibly rainy Silverstone.
Yeah, possibly at the end if there's enough safety cars, but we don't want that.
No, no. AM2 has been plagued with rain all season, so I'm kind of hoping for it,
Well,
like usual.
Well, let's just go through the final standings here from qualifying. Pablo puts it on pole with a 25.9 with Nick behind him in P2. Speedy Bullet in P3 with ASAP Loggy P4. Paul P5, Waffle P6, Arrow P7, Bandit 8, Senki 9, Frame 10, with J11, Angel 12, Easy 1013, Chipman 14, Electric Entree 15, Gustavo 16. That's all I was able to do, folks. Apologize.
That
I
was
believe it
quick.
was
That was quick.
yeah, I tried my best with what I was given, but yeah, it looks very overcast though for the race. Will be interesting to see when the rain actually hits, if it stays this way.
Oh, this is gonna be potentially interesting.
Yeah, but before we get into the race, who do you think is gonna win?
Um,
Predictions.
honestly, I'm a bit of a front runner here, but I'm gonna go Nick AC, Pablo P2. Um, I'm gonna go with the surprise in P3. I'm gonna ride it like I did last season. I'm gonna go Red Arrow P3.
Oh, as we are about to start the race, so it's five lights, and away we go. Good start from Nick and Pablo there, both on the medium tires. Nick slots back behind Pablo going into turn one. Nick all over the back of Pablo, trying to see if he can get the lead there. But Pablo holds him off and is in P1. Looking further back, no collisions, everybody going through. It's a good start from everybody here.
Yeah, back end got a little bit of little conglomerate as we have Electric Entree sliding into the not the Wellington Straight, I should say into. Looked like he may have had some assistance. I don't know because you don't just spin out there.
Zenki is forced wide off the track, but he still manages to keep P8.
It's very interesting. The front four right now currently on the medium compound tire. ASAP Logi and Red Arrow on the hards. The first guy on the softs is Waffle Raptor in P7. Zanky is on the mediums in P8. Bandut's on the softs in P9. Then we have a whole bunch of hard compound runners. 10th through 14th, all on the hard compound tires. So that's Frame, Witjay, Angel, Easy 10, and Gustavo. Chipman's in the middle with the medium compound tire in 15th, and then Zip, Groove, Rainbow, and Entree all in the hard compound tire to round out the field as far as tire compounds
As
are
Waffle
concerned.
Raptor and I believe it was Red Arrow came together and Waffle Raptor has spun. So he will definitely be cursing himself for not making the moves early, especially on the softs. He's completely on the back foot now, as he's I think P18 now.
Yeah, him and Electric Entree having the last one scuffles that they had, bringing him to the back of the field currently. Not good for them for their start, but hey, it's 26 laps. Anything can happen, especially if it's supposed to rain. Again, it looks overcast, but we will see how the weather plays out.
As Waffle Raptor makes a move on Rainbow Demon and goes up in a P17. As we look at the top of the field, the top three are slightly pulling away from the rest of the field. They have opened a 1.2-second gap to Paul, currently not able to keep up with them. I think they're on the same tires, the top four, top five.
Um,
Oh no,
yeah,
ASAP
top
Logi
four.
is the first one on the hards.
Yeah, the top four are all in the mediums.
Yep.
Logi and Red Arrow on the hards, and Bandu is on the softs. So all three in the top seven compounds being used. It could be Bandut's looking for a safety car early to potential go on the hards, or maybe the rain's coming sooner than we think. We don't know.
As Zenki and Widjay go side by side, heading into Stowe. Zenki maintains the position. Widjay gets a tap from his teammate there, gets him a little loose, but he's able to keep the car, and they go back onto the Hamilton straight. As ASAP Logi has gone past Paul in hell up to P4 on those hard tires.
Gru looks like he lost it going out of Vale. Unfortunately for him, he was sitting in a decent position. He's dropped the P17. Before then, at a Stowe, Gustavo also losing the back end. I don't know if there was contact in the middle part of the field, but right now he's P19. P17, P18, and P19 are literally nose to tail at this point in time as DRS is enabled in the back of the field. So we'll see what moves, if anything, these three can make going through the progression of the race. Back up to the front, Pablo is 3.5 tenths clear of Nick AC. Speedy Bullet is within DRS range of them,
I think
technically,
he's,
by
I think
he
he's
just lost
out.
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just lost out of it. He's got 2 seconds of ASAP Loggy, so Speedy Bullet's going to want Nick to battle Pablo, which he is doing currently going into Stowe, looking on the inside. Maggots, we have a caution. I don't know who that
I
is. It
think it's
might be
Angel.
Angel.
Yeah, I think it's Angel. He lost it going into Maggots and Beckett's, or as Red Arrow gets a 3-second time penalty, the first time penalty of the race.
Oh man, one of my podium predictions is already getting penalties. I don't like this.
Red Arrow, I think he's on the hard tire as well, so he's keeping up well with the top four. But Speedy Bullet looks like he's lost a little bit of ground to the top two. As we see go on board with ASAP Locky, Paul, and Arrow here. It's a 5-car, 6-car train.
ASAP. Paul looking on the inside of Brooklyn's, and then he's going to give the outside of Luffield, giving the McLaren a ton of room. And ASAP Loggy is able to keep the position for now. They are now heading into Cops here. Paul and Hell backs out of it. ASAP Loggy maintains P4 for the time being. He's going to be looking to attack going down the hangar straight into Stowe for sure. He seems to be a little faster than the Mercedes at the moment. Red Arrow behind him is going to want to try to make a move as soon as possible as well. He's got that 3-second time penalty to deal with.
As well as Bandute. Remember, he's on the soft tires, so he'll be looking to make the move on SR frames soon. But I don't think he found a way through on the McLaren driver just yet. But Paul gets up into back into fourth position, as we see battling at the back of the field. Zenki losing positions. Not sure. He had a moment there, I think. Not sure if there was a collision between one of the Ferraris as Tipman goes into the pits and receives a 5-second penalty. Not a good.
That's a big penalty. That's a long pit straight to begin with. One of the slowest in Formula One. Angel, the same fate. It's a 37-mile-an-hour speed limit instead of the traditional 50. So they got to be careful of that.
Yeah, not really a race where you want to do two stops. The pit lane is so long, and like you said, it's so slow that it just there's no point in doing a two stop or something like that. You might, if you have, I would say it's better to take your tires up to 80% wear rather than doing a two stop with 40-40, something like that.
Um, that reminds me of 2 seasons ago. I tried. I was in an incident in lap one,
Oh,
I
oh, oh.
attempted to go
Sorry
25
to
laps.
sorry to cut you off there, but I believe SR Frame and Ben Dude came together, and SR Frame has no left end plate.
Oh, that is a good shout, sir. I don't mind you disrupting me for that one. Bandute doesn't look like he has damage. I don't see anything prevalent. However, the McLaren isn't so lucky, and he dives into the pits now. So he'll be looking to change that front wing. He was going along extremely well in P8, but unfortunately that's going to set him back. These guys in the back end of the field, Gustavo, Gru, Electric Entre, Chipman, and Angel, they're going to need a safety car to get back into this race.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they'll be able to take those tires to the end. Even if they do, they'll be completely worn in puncher territory for sure. As Nick finally makes the move on Pablo, but I don't think he'll be able to hold it as he went onto the curbs there, coming out of left field.
Yeah, he backed out of that. Again, going on to the hard compound tires this long, I beg to differ. As long as you're good on tire wear, you can make it. I did again 2 seasons ago where I attempted to stretch hard compound tires 25 laps. I was 1 lap short before it punctured on me.
Yeah, I think I did a race for another league a couple of weeks ago, but as we talk about that, Nick finally makes the move, takes P1 on track. Pablo is now back, slowing back in P2. But yeah, I think a few weeks ago, I did a race for another league, and I took the mediums about 18 laps, 20 laps, I want to say. So it can be done. I think it was about like 75% wear. But people who try to do the two stop after the safety car, they finish like 15 seconds behind me. So yeah, it's not a track where you can do a two stop basically.
No, as long as you are good on tires, good on fuel, you could definitely pull it off. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's something that's very very difficult to execute and keep it on the island, so to speak, or the asphalt. But if you could execute it, you'll do very well around here.
Yes, for sure. As the top two, oh, Angel has left the session. If you can
All right.
invite him, kind sir. As Pablo and Nick are just extending the lead at the top and extending their gap to P3 and P4 and the rest of the field. They look like the, they're in a different class in this race for sure. As Red Arrow gets another 3-second time penalty, that is going to hurt him a lot, especially in the fight for the championship. Uh, that's unfortunate for the Haas driver.
He needs to add me. Angel did not add me. I don't have him.
Okay, I'm gonna send out an invite. Apologies, folks. Uh, but yeah, I have sent him an invite as we head back to action on track. Nick is slowly starting to lose time on Pablo. Not sure if there was a mistake there, but he's about 8 tenths behind. Still within the DRS, so he should be able to catch back up. Uh, as we have yellows, not sure why in the second sector, but yeah, we're back in green flag conditions.
Rainbow Demon looked like they had a problem going out of Chapel there. SR Frame is slowly closing in on that Alfa Romeo currently. Believe this is, ironically enough, and I'm going to say this, her second race, not his. Everyone made that mistake last week. I found out it is a female racing in that car.
Yeah, that is a huge thing, especially in cost. I'm not sure. I haven't been here long enough. Not sure if there were any female drivers in cost before, but yeah, that's always a good thing to see our female drivers coming through and enjoying the game.
Yes, as far as I know, I'm 5 seasons in. This is the first one I've ever seen. So, welcome aboard. I didn't get a chance to say anything on a stream until now, so glad to have you. Hopefully, we could get more as the new game will be released, I believe, May 31st.
Yeah, I think pre-release is 28, and the full game or everybody gets access on 31st. as Red Arrow
Perfect.
makes a move on ASAP Loggy finally, moves up to P4. Those hearts are, as ASAP Loggy goes wide, coming out of I've last chicane, I'm gonna say. I keep messing the names up in my head. But he's lost two positions now, and Red Arrow is able to open a 1.2 second gap on Paul and Hell in P5.
That's huge. As long as those guys fight, Bandu is still on the soft compound tires. I'm actually surprised those soft compound tires made it to lap 9. I thought they'd be dead after 6.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can do like 10, 11 laps around here, but they're gonna be at what? I want to say 65, 70% when he pits.
Puncture territory, basically.
Well, I know esports drivers do it. I think in one of the esports races last week, all the drivers went soft medium, but not everybody is as good as they are with tire management and everything. So I'm not gonna say it works in leagues such as ours, but it is possible.
Very, very interesting. I learn stuff every day, apparently. As Nick AC is back on the gearbox of Pablo, he looking to do, I don't know how many switchback attempts here, as he heads toward Club and Vale. As we have yellow Sector 2 going into Sector 3. It's a Red Bull, I believe. Looks like Waffle Raptor had a little bit of an issue out of Chapel there,
Yeah, not.
keeping it on the island so far. So Zanke is now closing in within a second of Waffle Raptor. Should have DRS going into the never mind. As Waffle Raptor goes into the pits now, so going off those soft compound tires, goes 9 laps on them.
Bandude still looking strong with these soft tires. He's looking to make the move on Paul and Hell, who's not looked as comfortable as he has in previous races, I want to say. Yeah, Bandude is looking to pounce on the Alfa Romeo driver, but he will not be able to make a move here. But I think out of the Hangar Straight, he has a chance to take it to P5.
Be very interesting what Bandit decides to do, sitting back or going to attack. Honestly, those soft compound tires are probably screaming at this point. The soft medium definitely is in play for the Alpine, which you said can be done. I've never seen it around Silverstone, so that'll be impressive on his part. As in the left field, Gru has a go off there, and he is dropping through the field now.
I believe a
I
Ferrari
don't
has
know.
had a moment too. I think it's with Jay, coming out of Maggots and Beckett's, and he lost a couple of positions and now is behind the Aston Martin of Zenki, down in P11.
Jeez.
Yeah, as Bandude finally pits, going off those soft tires, he's done what 11 laps on them now. So I will be interested to see if he picks the mediums or the hards. Looks like it's the hard compound tires for the Alpine driver to the end of the race.
Banking on a safety car. Honestly, that's not necessarily a bad shout because if there's a safety car that comes up very, very shortly thereafter, medium compound tires you put on the car, you're in decent position to steal some points.
Yeah, for sure. Will be interesting to see though what the top two do as well. Would they go for a medium soft strategy from here on out? Uh, you never know. They might go medium hard. If they're doing medium hard, they would want to come in at about lap 13, lap 14. If they want to do medium soft, they have to take those mediums all the way up to like lap 16 maybe, or even 15, 16. So we'll be interested to see what they do because they have such a huge gap to the rest of the field that whatever strategy they pick, they're probably going to come in 1 and 2. It's just how do they, outsmart each other to get that win at this point.
Um, Honestly, if I were in Nick's position as that Williams, I'm gonna play somewhat unbiased for a second. Because he was tailing Pablo for a while, trying to see if he could force a mistake. I would attempt the undercut here if I were the Williams. because the undercut around Silverstone is absolutely OP. Even one lap, you're gaining anywhere near 1.5 to 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think you can easily get like 1.5 to 2 seconds per lap. And not to mention when if you pit second, you take a couple of laps or at least a few corners to warm up your tire, and that definitely gives you an advantage. And also the driver coming in behind, they know that they can't make a mistake and they have to catch up as soon as possible. So you're kind of forcing the other driver to, take that impetus and try and see if they can catch back up. But yeah, it's all about mind games, I think, for the top two. Red Arrow has slowly been closing in as we're talking here on Speedy Bullet.
Uh, I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, my prediction's still actually pretty well in play.
Yeah, for
Wink,
sure.
wink.
As
I mean, he does have the 3 seconds covered to ASAP Loggy.
well, he has 6 seconds though. He has two time penalties. Don't forget.
It is 6? Okay, so it is 6. I didn't catch the second one.
Yeah, so
Um,
he has a lot of work to do. But what tire is Speedy Bullet on? He's on the mediums. So Red Arrow in his second stint will definitely be faster than Speedy Bullet. So, it might work out for him. A podium is not out, but he should be hoping there's no safety car because if that happens, he's probably looking out of the points maybe. So, could be interesting for him.
oh, yeah. With 6 seconds in penalties, especially if it's a late safety car, you're not getting 6 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. Very
Can
spr
do it with 3 seconds.
Oh, he was looking really good. Unfortunate for him. Hopefully, I think he'll get a massive undercut as well. Oh,
Yeah, I really do.
Angel needs another invite. I've sent you one, mate, but
All right, hold on. I added you on EA. I don't know if we got it, so we're gonna find out right now. Hopefully you did.
yeah.
I still don't have you.
As Nick finally decides to pit, coming in at the end of lap 13, will be interesting to see what tire he chooses. I'm guessing the hard compound tire for sure from this point to the end of the race. But you never know. You
Ah,
never know. He might pick the softs. Let's see what.
pretty cool.
No, it is the hard for Nick AC.
Not surprising. We have what 13 to go now at this point, so we just hit halfway. Pablo now has 7 seconds of Speedy Bullet. Red Arrow sitting in third. 3.5 seconds to ASAP Loggy in P4. Almost 4 seconds now. Honestly, Red Arrow is gonna comfortably go 2 more, maybe 3 more laps. He's definitely going to be looking for the hards to soft compound strategy. It's gonna work. As I just looked down at the chat for the first time in a while, and hello, Mr. BK. Um, Great work in the intros,
Yes,
not
thank you.
only for AM3, but just in general for COS as an entirety. The intros that you see before the races get underway, that was his doing. So big shout out to him.
Paul,
As always, doing some excellent work.
for sure. As Paul is trying to make a move on Gustavo, coming in, I think both of them are on fresh hards at the moment, so he'll be looking to get past the Mercedes driver as Speedy Bullet comes into the pits. Uh, I'm not sure. I think Speedy Bullet and Nick, with the 6 second gap, could have maybe double stacked, but yeah, not sure why they didn't try that. But yeah, everybody apart from Red Arrow now is into the pits. Pablo is choosing to put on a set of hard tires as well. Will be interesting to see how far uh, behind he is off of Nick. As you
Yeah,
see
here comes
Nick
Nick.
just passing by, you see an Alfa Aston Martin, but of Zenki who's in P4. I believe those are really old tires on the Aston Martin driver as Electric Andre gets a 5 second speeding in the pit lane penalty.
As I predicted, 1.5 seconds. He was a half second going in. He is almost 1 second ahead coming out of the pit lane. So Nick AC doing the undercut to absolute perfection as far as getting the lead is concerned. Now it's just going to be for the Williams driver to get out of the DRS zone of Pablo and hope and pray there's no mistakes made. There is, 11 laps to go now at this point, so it's going to be a task, but if there's anybody that could pull it off, it's going to be that Williams. But Pablo is in DRS range, so it's not going to be too much of assistance. Going down the hanger straight, 8/10 is the gap. It's slowly closing in, so the AlphaTauri is going to be looking to make a move within the next lap or so. We'll see. He's got 1 lap fresher tires now, as Red Arrow is still out there. 15 lap old hards, definitely.
He's definitely looking for the mediums, as we see Bandit and Speedy Bullet having a bit of a fight here. Speedy Bullet, I think he just pit on the last lap, so he'll be looking to get past the Alpine driver, but he's not making it easy for him. That's for sure.
No, and Bandit surprisingly went onto the hard compound tire. I thought he would go onto the mediums.
Well, remember, he pit a lot early than we predicted. I think a lap 11 or lap 12 because he started lap 11 because he started on the soft. So, yeah, it was a possibility to go on the mediums, but by the end of the race, it'd be in the same situation as your your soft tires would be. At the end of the race, it'll be like 70%, 80% wear on them. So, I think it's probably that's what he thought, seeing the wear on his first stint, that hards were probably the better option.
Yeah, probably was. As far as tire graphic is concerned, Red Arrow has yet to pit. He's him and Gru are the only two that haven't pit yet. 15 lap old hards. Nick AC, actually, as I said that, Red Arrow is now going into the pit lane. Nick AC, Pablo, Bandit, Speedy Bullet, all on the hard compound tires. SR frame, 10 lap old mediums. I don't know if he's going to be able to make that to the end of the race. That'll push it 20 laps. Paul on pretty much fresh hard compound tires. ASAP Loggy, Waffle Raptor, Chris Zip on the mediums currently. Chipman 11 lap old hards. Easy 10 just pitted for mediums. Zanky and Witche all both on the soft compound tires just coming out of the pit lane. They should make it to the end now. Gru, as I've mentioned, and then you have Gustavo Electric Entree with freshly minted mediums. Angel, 11 lap old mediums, and then Rainbow Demon rounding out the field on 3 lap old mediums. That's your tires right now with 8 to go.
As we see Red Arrow come out of the pits, he's only fighting for pole for P5, so he's not too far behind Speedy Bullet and Bandit. Bandit is definitely holding up Speedy Bullet at this point, and with those advantage of the softs, just 9 laps, I think Red Arrow has a shout for a podium finish here, even with those 6 seconds of penalties, because Bandit and Speedy Bullet, I believe, had 3 seconds. So if he can get past them quickly enough and open a 3-second gap, he will be able to get that podium position for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That Haas is looking in prime position, even with that 3 seconds extra. Also, Zanky, Electric Entree, Angel, and Rainbow Demon have penalties. Zanky with 3, Entree and Angel with 5, and Rainbow Demon with 8. That's your penalties so far. Position changes. Your big winner right now through 16 laps is Chris Zip. He's up 10 positions. Started 19th, is in P10, or P9 rather. Second biggest winner is Bandit. He's up 4, started 8th. He's currently in 4th. Biggest loser is Angel, down 5. Everything else has been pretty much status quo. 1 position here, 2 positions there, so on and so forth.
As you were going through the penalties, Speedy Bullet has been able to open the gap on Bandit. Red Arrow is pushed a little bit wide there, but he maintains P4 at the moment. But they're going 3 wide right now because I believe Red Arrow did not get DRS going into that corner, but his fresher soft tires, he was able to hold the position off of Bandute at least. But he has now ASAP Loggy, who's having a really good race in the Mercedes. Shout out to him. He's now up into P4. Red Arrow and going.
Oh,
If only
through
that was a Red
cops.
Bull there.
Oh, going through cops. That took a lot of guts, needless to say. It looked like Red Arrow was actually backing away a little bit, may have made some contact and didn't want to give up the position or take the position dirty, so to speak. So giving back the position from what it looked like from my point of view. He's still got 1.8 seconds to Speedy Bullet and his podium. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah,
So we'll see. We'll see what they do.
he is getting loose though. I'm getting a terrible camera angle, but he did go wide coming out of a club there. So not sure if he's on the brink of a third penalty. I hope not, and we get to see some fighting up at the front, especially for the last podium position, because ASAP Loggy and Paul Hell can use Red Arrow for his DRS and catch up to Speedy Bullet, and that could be a 5-car shootout for the final podium spot.
Which ASAP Loggy, if that was the case, if ASAP Loggy that brings them back into play, he would be the beneficiary. Speedy Bullet and Red Arrow would be the biggest losers out of that quintet or potential quintet. I think that's what you
Yeah,
would call it. Yeah.
yeah, quintet. Yes, that's right, sir. As we see the top two just cruising through, I believe I think for them it's just about exchanging DRS, not battling, and then laying everything out in the last 2-3 laps because there's just no point if they go wheel to wheel before that. Just use the DRS, conserve your ERS, and then just go all out in the last 2 laps.
You say that, and I'm looking at the ERS. Nick has 48, 49%. Pablo has 30, 40%. So,
Hmm.
Red Arrow puts it in the fastest lap of 29.1. So, those soft compound tires definitely firing on all cylinders. It's 7 laps to go now. As we've already approached, I believe, 2 of the back markers. The front, 7 have lapped, I believe, Angel and Rainbow.
Uh,
This battle for the lead. This battle for the lead is absolutely insane. As SR Frame puts it the fastest lap of a 29.1.
as we go back.
Red.
Yeah, Red Arrow is closing in, so we shall see what he does coming out of Maggots and Beckett onto the Hanger Straight. But we shall focus now on the top two to see if there's a little bit of exchange for the lead here. Nick AC still content to be behind Pablo. It's going back to the fight for the final podium position. Let's see if the Haas of Red Arrow is able to make the move. He has no ERS, but dives it down the inside. But Speedy Bullet is able to cover him off. Those softs will definitely start to, cross the 25% threshold mark, and then it'll be interesting to see because Red Arrow isn't looking too comfortable on the track. I think he is slipping and sliding a little bit, so you never know what can happen from here on to the end of the race.
I mean, Red Arrow historically does like to run a little bit of a lower wing setup. I do know from experience with that one. Further down the field as well, Bandute was able to overtake Paul, but in the meantime did get a 3-second penalty for it. Not an illegal overtake because it happened after the fact, but Paul and Bandute are fighting for P6, which Paul right now is the beneficiary, given the penalty to Bandute, so he doesn't have to push too hard. A little bit further down the field, Gustavo and Waffle Raptor fighting for P13. They're only separated by a quarter of a second themselves, as we are in the middle of lap 21. So this time around will be 5 laps to go for the front runners. Nick AC taking over the lead again into Stowe. These two, as you've already said, battling it out, flip-flopping back and forth. Don't really need to press too much. Red Arrow did get by Speedy Bullet for the record to get onto the podium provisionally. So we'll see what those soft compound tires do now with 5 laps to go.
As
Uh,
Red Arrow is not able to shake off Speedy Bullet here, so Speedy Bullet will just be looking to say, okay, you can keep the position. I'll just stay behind you, take the DRS, and take P3. If he can just hold it into within a second of Red Arrow, I think, and keep it on track, I think it's a guaranteed, you know, 2 out of the 3 Williams will be in the podium. As Groot gets a 3-second time penalty.
yes, I'm checking the race director now for the Williams here to see Nick. Nick's on one warning, Speedy Bullet.
Oh, we have yellows. I think it's easy 10. He's lost it coming out of the loop. Going through the Wellington straight. He's still down in P12, but he's now 8 seconds behind SR Frame. SR Frame has been closing in on Widjay for the last points playing position. I believe he was setting fastest lap after fastest lap at one point. So coming out into Maggots and Beckett's, I think it's best if he just holds off until the DRS to make the move on the Ferrari driver Widjay, who's on the soft compound tires. Not sure how many laps he's done on them, but SR Frame with the DRS open goes down the inside and completes the move before heading into Stove, going through Club. Keeps the position and is now down in P10. Let's see here, what other battles do we have? As we see the
Um,
top two still within a tenth of each other.
a little bit of news on Speedy Bullet. He lost DRS on Red Arrow.
Oh,
And
this is when Red Arrow should capitalize. You know, just try and see if he can open up that gap. Uh, he's not gonna get P3 unless he pushes at this time. So if I was Red Arrow, I'd be just trying to put in quality lap after quality lap.
yeah, ASAP Loggy with another 3 seconds. So that battle for the P3 to P7 via penalties may benefit. I don't know who's that going to benefit. That still Speedy
Paul,
Bullet currently is. Paul's too far back, 3
uh,
seconds and 10 seconds before Bandu is Zanky. So Paul's a little too far back,
not sure what
unfortunately.
happened to him though. He was battling with Van Dude, ASAP Loggy for that the P5, P6. Not sure if he had a collision with some other driver, but he is down into P9 at the moment. Chris Zip
Yeah, I'm not
making the
sure what
move.
happened.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good. I don't know what happened with him. I was further alluding to it. He's just letting Chris Zip through. There is a penalty on that one as well. So he's not really fighting for P8 as per se. The two battles on track are mainly for the podium places. P1, P2 flip flopping with 2.5 laps to go. Red Arrow and Speedy Bullet. There's still almost a second and a half separating the two. Red Arrow needs to get
I
2 seconds in the
electric
next 2 laps.
electric entree is off, and I believe he reset the track there. I think he was beached, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I think he hit the back of Gustavo and lost the car, unfortunately for him.
Well, if he was beached on the curb, then he's safe to do the
Yeah.
reset, and I didn't catch it, so we'll see. That may potentially go to the storage room. We'll find out soon enough.
As these guys
As
are. Oh! I think Nick AC lost it a little bit there. Pablo with a dive going into the final corner keeps the position, keeps the lead of the race. Nick AC still though is only half a tenth behind him. As we head into the last couple of laps of the race, Red Arrow is still not able to make that gap of 3 seconds that he needs for the final podium position. So Speedy Bullet looking good for that P3.
Last check I saw, Speedy Bullet was on four warnings, and Red Arrow was on 7. So one warning per their next one, and I believe I just saw the screen change over to potential rain.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Not sure. I don't see any drop. Oh, yes, you are right. I see a few drops of rain. It's very light at the moment, but yeah, you're right. It is starting to rain here in Silverstone, but I don't think it will matter too much with only 2 laps to go. Especially, I think Red Arrow probably might benefit most because he's on the softs. Top two, even though they're on the hards, they're 12 seconds ahead of Red Arrow. So I think they are in the world of their own and they can just fight it out in this last lap. So Pablo's about to start the final lap. Deathstorm, do you want to go on board with the battle for the victory here in Silverstone?
let's go. Pablo for the last time going through Abbey, hitting toward farm. Coming up now, he's still 3.5 tenths clear of Nick AC, heading toward the loop, well, village now, and then the loop's coming up. This will be the first DRS zone. The last time they visit the Wellington Straight here tonight, they have a lap car ahead of them. I believe that is the Haas of Gru. Should probably go out of the way, which he does. Nick AC is a half a second back. Not going to be able to do anything into Brooklands and Luffield. His only chance, his last chance for victory here tonight, will be going into Stowe down the Hanger Straight, and then a potential Hail Mary into Vale. Pablo is now 7 tenths clear of Nick AC and the Williams, heading toward Cops for the final time, keeping it on the track very nicely indeed by the AlphaTauri. Meggetts, Beckett's, and Chapel will be next. This is very pivotal for both of their races here, as Pablo keeps it on the track, and he is going to burn the rest of his ERS going down the Hanger Straight.
Oh,
Nick AC is going to be too
just
far
want to
back.
interrupt you right there. A Red Arrow had a moment and he is off, so he is not going to get P3.
Oh, no, he just lost P4 as well to ASAP Loggy. But Nick AC is too far back. Pablo is going to go through Vale and Club for the final time. And, oh, wow, Red Arrow gets the 10-second time penalty. But Pablo wins here at Silverstone. Nick AC will be P2. We have an eternity and a half to Speedy Bullet in P3. He's going to definitely hold on to it as long as he keeps it on the track. So we're going to have a double Williams podium here at Silverstone with Pablo, Nick AC P2, Speedy Bullet P3, ASAP Loggy very quietly up in the P4, Bandu P5, and then Red Arrow is going to have a major time penalty. He's actually ghosted on my screen. I don't know if he left
Yeah,
the lobby by chance. So he's going to lose that position for sure. Oh, he may
I
have
th
ran out of
yeah,
fuel.
I think he ran out of fuel.
So Zanky P6, SR Frame P7, Chris Zip will end up in P8. Red Arrow will go down into P9. Actually, Red Arrow will go down to P10, Witchay into P9, and then Waffle Raptor P11. Gustavo will end his night in P12. Easy 10 right behind him in P13. Electric Entree, another 8 seconds back. He'll be P14. Paul and Hell will be P15. Chipman 16th. Gru 17th. Angel 18th. And Rainbow Demon rounding out the field here tonight. As Paul and Hell does set the fastest lap, unfortunately steals the point away, doesn't get a point for it, unfortunately. But yeah, that was a fantastic race from the front. It was technically the front four. I'll consider Red Arrow up there because he was battling with Speedy Bullet for, what, a good 9-10 laps there?
Yeah, I think especially once he put on those soft tires, it looked like there was an outside chance for him to get that P3. Unfortunate for him that he underfueled, I think, and yeah, wasn't able to finish at the end. But yeah, he'll be really disappointed. Going from a podium possibility to P10, it's rough, especially for if you're trying to fight for the championship. But the person who will be most happy is Pablo because he gets a win over Nick AC. Even though it's not a huge chunk of points because Nick did finish P2, it's still a victory. And going into the last four races, you want that momentum. You want to be able to say, "Hey, I know I can beat you," and that's what he'll be looking to do with 4 rounds to go.
Oh yeah. I mean, 8 points is 8 points. Actually, 7 points.
Yeah.
18, 25. 7 points is 7 points. So I mean, that's bringing the fight to Nick AC. There's nothing wrong with that. Uh, Down to the last what 6 rounds now at this point.
hmm
Actually,
Yeah,
with the Imola
no,
race.
it's yeah. So I think there's 4 more rounds to go for these guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just go through the final standings. Do you want to take this one, Depp?
All right. We did have a DNF, so we have a little bit of a glitch there. But Pablo's P1, Nick AC P2, Speedy Bullet P3, ASAP Loggy P4, Bandut P5, Zanky P6, SR Frame 7th, Chris Zip 8th, with Jay 9th, Red Arrow rounding out the points in P10, Waffle Raptor 11th, Gustavo 12th, Easy 10 13th, Electric Entree 14th, Paul 15th, Chipman 16th. Gru 17th it's showing, but I think he was actually ahead of some of those guys. Angel P18 Rainbow rounding out the field again. Um, can I invite some of these guys into the chat? Because I don't think I have them a
Uh,
friend requested on Discord.
you don't need a friend request, but yeah, we'll be going into AM3 in order to go and add them.
All right, sounds good, my friend. I'll wait for that.
It was, let's see here.
Uh,
Yeah.
Pablo,
Pa
Nick AC, and Speedy.
Yep. So overall, what did you think about your return to Comms Boot? Did you like the race tonight?
Oh, that was definitely a good race, especially from the front four. Pretty much as advertised as it's been all season, as far as I'm concerned. I'm kind of nervous about tomorrow, though. AM2, I'm usually not one of those guys that's in the front end of the field. I'm usually scraping by and fighting for points. So as long as I stay out of trouble, I think I'll be okay. But it was definitely glad to be back in the booth, and I definitely enjoyed it with you, Johnny, wherever you are. Miss you. Hope everything's going okay. Hopefully you'll be back next week.
Mindset as well, not to forget.
Oh yeah, mindset's not going to be with tomorrow as well. Yee.
No,
Electric contract.
he was supposed to be in the boat tonight, but yeah, I think he's gonna take over AM2 tomorrow for me. So thanks for that.
All
So
right, that's perfect.
I am trying to invite Speedy Bullet here, but not sure why it isn't showing him when I type his name. So that is weird. Speedy Bullet. Is it because he has his name like in italics or something?
It's God-given talents, by the way.
Sorry, what?
God-given talents is his username. That's probably why.
Oh, God given. No. It's weird. So let me try to see if I can do some italics or something like that. I don't know how to
Yeah, I'm trying to
do
figure it out.
Speedy Bullet. Let's see here. Trying to get you at it, mate. Not sure why, but the Discord is not
All
picking
right.
you
Well,
up.
Pablo doesn't have a mic, so he's not going to be there tonight.
Oh, that's okay.
In the meantime, I will start with our finisher for P2, Nick AC30. A little bit of a to do. It was kind of funny. I was in the Williams chat before shouting out a potential 1-2 for interviews, and well, I got something. Congratulations on the podium, Nick. How was the race on your end? I know you were fighting with Pablo pretty much the entire way.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what you said. It's just between me and Pablo. Um, Tire wear was actually pretty rough, but it was good to see that I wasn't the only person struggling because I know like in like the first third of that race when Pablo started pulling away a little bit, I was really worried that was why. But yeah, just kind of managing the gap going back and forth. DRS battles the whole race. So yeah.
Oh yeah, once you got to the undercut scenario, I made another shout to you, figuring you were going to try for the undercut because I knew you were battling nose to tail. The undercut seemed to definitely have worked, but Pablo was just too quick. I don't know if it was just that you burned too much ERS trying to stay ahead or trying to get ahead, but I mean P2 still a healthy lead and a nice recovery from the DNF last week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was kind of the whole goal today, just come back, score points. Luckily, we ended with the P2, so real happy with it.
Perfect. I'll move on to our man, your teammate in P3, Speedy Bullet. Toward the end there, you had a hard charging red arrow on the soft compound tires, but you had the 3-second penalty to negotiate through. You had also the buffer ahead of you. Was your game plan once he got by you on the soft compound tires just to maintain the gap or try to force it on his end?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just trying to when I found out that he had a 6-second penalty at the beginning of the race, I was hoping I didn't get no penalties at all. But things didn't work out that way. But at the end, I was just trying to maintain. So he won 2 seconds. I was trying to just stay on him, so I can hold that before he get 2 seconds. Because I know if he got 2 seconds, that would have been his P3. So I had to try to put all my tires was dead. It was 65%, I think. But it was a rough ride. But at the end of the day, everything worked out fine though.
Yeah, no, definitely. Williams 2-3, nothing wrong with that. Good haul of points for both you drivers and in constructors, strengthening the lead on both ends. Red Devil, you have any questions for 2 of our 3 podium sitters tonight?
Nothing else tonight. I think you summed it up pretty well. I just want to say, congrats on P2 and P3. I know it's not quite the win, but that's still a good chunk of points for you, Nick, for the championship, and a good chunk of points for, constructors as well. So yeah, congratulations and good luck for. I believe it's where are we in Mexico next week? So yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, it is
Before
Mexico
we
next
before
week.
we go, before we
Yes,
go,
sir?
I have a question for my teammate. How does it feel to come back and get a podium on your first race back in what, 2-3 weeks? Love to see it. Welcome back, buddy.
Man, it's a statement, definitely. I can say this is a statement. I don't know if anybody saw it in the chat. I said tonight is strictly business. So I definitely made it as business, and it feels great to be back in the podium, and I look forward to many more.
Yeah, you stood on it. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
With that being said, gentlemen, congratulations yet again. Yes, welcome back, Speedy Bullet, and looking forward to the rest of the week here in Contest of Speed. Tomorrow afternoon, well, for us here in the States, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, 9 p.m. UK, and 10 p.m. Britain time. We have EU2, followed by 9 p.m. Eastern, AM2 featuring yours truly. And then the EU1 and AM1 championships left to contend here at Silverstone. That'll be on Thursday, and that'll be featuring Mr. Red Devil and the bunch of guys from the AM1 side of the grid. With that being said, I appreciate the welcome back into the comms booth, Mr. Red Devil. For everybody in AM3, this is Deathstorm, and we will see you guys tomorrow. And have a safe week. Everybody be safe, and we'll see you then.